The HOA hit me with a $50 fine for building a dam. Yeah, 50 grand for the very dam that was keeping their own neighborhood from turning into a swamp. They didn't just send letters. They sent a deputy to my door, with Marlene, the HOA president, a textbook Karen smirking behind him, waving what were clearly forged documents. She thought I'd cave. She thought I'd pay up or tear it all down. What she didn't know was that I'd been collecting evidence, piece by piece, to expose every crime she'd been covering up. So when they forced me to destroy my own work, I did. And then I sat back and waited for the mess I knew was coming. Because what happens when the people who try to ruin you suddenly beg you to save them from their own disaster? Stick around and drop in the comments where you're watching from. Because this one starts with a plain white envelope. I lived in my house more than 30 years. Raised my kids here. Plan to retire in peace. I'm a retired electrician, a fixer by nature. The HOA was mostly background noise, sending out letters about trash cans or lawn height. But that afternoon, when I opened the envelope, my quiet life ended. Printed in red across the page, fine assessment $50,000. My heart just about stopped. The violation? Unauthorized construction and alteration of community water flow. Translation, the dam. See, for years, our cul-de-sac had a real flooding problem. Every heavy rain, the creek swelled and dumped mud across our yards. George, my neighbor, lost a brand new mower in it last year. We begged the HOA for help. They sent a committee, shook their heads, and declared it cost prohibitive. Their words. So, I built a dam myself, a solid, reinforced structure of rock and concrete. Not huge, but enough to slow the water and redirect it safely into a runoff channel. I'm no engineer, but I know how to build things that last. And it worked. Next storm, instead of swamp, our yard stayed dry. My neighbors were grateful, brought me whiskey as thanks. But Marlene, she slapped me with a $50 fine. The notice was full of threats, liens, interest piling up daily, even foreclosure. Attached were photocopies of permits that were blurry, smudged, and citing rules that didn't even exist. It stank of forgery. I called Marlene directly. She answered like I was wasting her time. When I pointed out the rules didn't seem real and that my dam was solving the problem the HOA ignored, she cut me off. We're governed by rules, not your friend's happiness. Pay it or face consequences. Then she hung up. So, I gathered my documents, old HOA letters admitting the flooding, photos of the swampy yards, receipts from the dam materials. And when I compared the county seal on Marlene's documents with the official one online, it wasn't even close. She wasn't just power tripping, she was committing fraud. That's when my fear burned away. I wasn't dealing with rules. I was dealing with a scammer. I turned my life into an investigation. Years of photos printed and labeled. A security camera recording the dam in action. During the next thunderstorm, I watched live as the water rose, pressed against the dam, then drained exactly where it should. Perfect. I saved the footage, armed with evidence. I emailed David, the only board member who seemed reasonable. I sent him the forged seals, the video of the dam working. He called me whispering like he was scared someone would overhear. You're not wrong. But Marlene won't back down. My advice, take it down. It's not worth the fight. His warning chilled me, but also told me I was right. Days later, a deputy showed up at my door with Marlene smirking behind him. He handed me a cease and desist order. Tear down the dam within 48 hours or face criminal charges. My stomach dropped. My own home didn't feel like mine anymore. But I wasn't giving in. Not yet. That's when I called Maya, an old friend and retired civil engineer. She inspected the dam, checked every detail, and confirmed it wasn't just good, it was professional. She wrote a full report, stamped and signed, proving the dam was safe and necessary. Together, We built a watertight case, photos, logs, expert testimony. We mailed a demand letter to the HOA with everything attached Maya's report. My evidence, proof of the forgery. We demanded the fine be dropped and an apology issued. Instead, Marlene doubled down. Another fine, $10. 000. This time for unauthorized surveillance, my security camera. They cited another fake bylaw. But Marlene's intimidation started to backfire. My neighbors, sick of her harassment, signed a statement supporting me. The dam worked, and the camera only faced my own property. It wasn't just me anymore. The neighborhood was waking up. Marlene retaliated by planting cameras aimed right at my house. Intimidation. Creepy. Obvious. But my own camera caught her on video, personally staging fake violations, photoshopped evidence. Bogus inspections. I had her cold. Still, she pushed harder, filing a criminal complaint claiming the dam sat on HOA land. Another forged map. And a judge, without hearing my side, ordered me to destroy the dam within 72 hours or face jail. My hand shook holding that paper. I'd never even had a speeding ticket. Now I faced prison because of a lie. I gave in. I hired a contractor, and we tore the dam down. My heart broke watching it collapse into rubble. And wouldn't you know it, right after, the skies opened. A heavy storm. The creek raged higher than ever, flooding George's yard, drowning his mower, turning Clara's patio into a lake. Without the dam, the neighborhood was sinking. This time, everyone saw it. The whispers changed. People stopped blaming me and started asking why Marlene forced me to remove the only thing keeping us safe. That's when I called the local news. Reporter Sarah Jenkins came with cameras. I laid out everything, fake documents side by side with real ones. Time-stamped video of the dam working. Recordings of stage violations. She filmed the flood damage in my neighbors' yards. The ruined mower. The mud everywhere. That night, the story aired on TV. The fallout was instant. The whole city saw Marlene's fraud. Other homeowners came forward with similar horror stories. The HOA board panicked. At the emergency meeting, the clubhouse was packed. Neighbors stood shoulder to shoulder. Furious, people shouted about fines, intimidation, lies. And when I held up proof, photos, video, signatures, Marlene cracked. She stormed out, resigned on the spot. The board rescinded all my fines, issued a public apology, and voted to compensate neighbors for flood damages. But we didn't stop there. We rewrote the bylaws capping fines, requiring photo proof, banning cameras pointed at private homes, and making all records transparent. For once, the HOA worked for us, not against us. And with a legal county permit this time, we rebuilt the dam stronger, smarter, together. Neighbors came out to help pour concrete, share sandwiches, lend a hand. The next spring, when the rains came, I stood on my porch with Maya. The water swelled, slowed, and drained away harmlessly. The yard stayed dry. You can't vote against gravity, I told her. And in the end, the truth proved just as unstoppable. So, tell me, would you have done in my shoes? Would you have fought like I did? Or torn it all down the moment the first fine showed up? Drop your thoughts and where you're watching from in the comments. This story isn't just about one dam. It's about standing up when someone abuses power in your niche. And trust, sometimes the flood washes them away.